happens, but it doesn't happen a lot. It also happens in football, but not a lot. Look, 2-minute victories happen. They just don't happen a lot. And I can back it up with statistics and numbers. So the question is, when you go to the front door, how is your position and how are you playing your position when you go to the front door? Are you agreeing with them? Hey, fantastic. I really hope you get that loan mod. That's not my experience. My experience, when somebody has a sale date, like yourself, they lose their house. What they want is proof, right? What we all want. The secret to selling the monster, the secret to selling your services, the secret to closing an agent. Ready? It's social proof. What is your social proof when you go to the front door? If for anybody not following me, I do apologize. I just decided I'd make it a little different today and use real marketing terms today, since there's nobody to frown upon my behavior. The terminology is social proof. Human beings do not take action unless they've seen others take action. We've talked about this before, right? You guys all have smartphones. How you guys aren't using auction.com at the front door, okay, you'll like this. This is new for you. Auction.com. Doesn't matter where you go. You could be Doug and you could be working in San Francisco proper, okay? Doesn't matter. See these? These are 9 people that have bank-owned properties on the island. I know it's not an island. On the island, right? So what's my conversation with them, Doug? Hey, see this house at 126 Argonaut? I went over and I talked to them. You know what they told me? They had a loan mod and they had an attorney working on their property and not to worry about it and slam their door in my face. Now the bank owns their property. They lost out on all that debt. See that duplex on Herman? I was there. I talked to that homeowner. They're still living in there. They don't even know they've been foreclosed upon. Based on the math, they're going to be evicted through an unlawful detainer right around Christmas time. And you know what they're going to say? How's that possible? I have an attorney. Yeah, this is the real deal. What's it worth? Any of these can be used that way. Because here's the reality. While you may or may not have met with any of these people, it does not matter the city, right? Let's do one for Pete. La Jolla. Go after La Jolla. If you build it, they will come. There's one property still in La Jolla. Got it, Pete? Whip it out. Show it to him. Oh, there's one property right here. I was with them. 1.6 as is. Holy shit. And they only have how much outstanding on it? 191,000 outstanding debt. They're going to lose that house with all that money in that property, Doug. Is that insane? That's insane to me. That's insane to me. That's insane. Do you guys get this? What's happening here? Banks are foreclosing. Your job is to show them, the people who are all rocket scientists, who all believe in fairies and rainbows, with all due respect, Pete, they all prayed for a miracle, right? They all did. And even this guy in La Jolla. This guy's got $355,000 worth of debt in La Jolla. Wild guess. What do you think on the low end, Pete? House is worth 5, 6, maybe, probably more, even for a condo in La Jolla. Easily. Yeah, it's common. It's very, very common. So take social proof with you, okay? So take social proof with you. Most of these people are going to be able to pay off their debt. To answer Donald's question, what's the benefit, right? The odds of you meeting somebody who's underwater still, unless you're in Florida. Do I have anybody on the call who's in Florida or New Jersey? Because everybody else in the United States is pretty safe at the moment. Florida and New Jersey, it's different, right? That's, oh, Jane, yeah, you. Jane, you'll still encounter people that are underwater. You will. That's that Central Florida thing, right? I don't know what to tell you about Florida and New Jersey. Like, there are no jobs, there is no money, and people are underwater. And if anybody asked me where's the best place to be a real estate agent right now, I'd want to be an agent in New Jersey or Florida. That would be my top two places, followed by Detroit. Based on the knowledge we have, you guys are actually doing this in a harder part of town. I mean, let's use Doug, for example, right? Doug likes to work San Francisco. He'll work the Bay Area. He'll work around. I'm not throwing Doug under the bus. But Doug likes the island. I know it's not an island. What is it technically? It's an inlet? How do they technically define that little fingertip? All right. We're only looking at in San Francisco is nowhere near underwater. Nowhere near underwater. There's nothing on that strip of land that's underwater. If you are in San Francisco proper, period, right? The city of, it's just money forever, right? It's just money forever. And these people all lost their house. But do you want to go a step further? The People's Republic of San Francisco, yes. But let's go a step further, right? Hope this is helpful to you, Kay, and follows you on your question. Your job is to change a mindset that is so dramatic that they've built this wall up over the course. You're looking at people who have spent 1 to 2 years being in literal denial of losing their home. What you first have to really accept is that your first meeting is about building a relationship and not getting a listing. And that's a tough lesson. Okay? And if you can cause a crack in their armor in that thought process, you win, which is why you've heard repeatedly on these calls, you want to get them to call the bank. You want them to get them to call that attorney. You want one of those two groups to validate your position. Why? Let's go back to what we started with. That is because that moment becomes social proof of what you're telling them as a truism. Remember why the monster works, okay? The monster is permission-based marketing. Seth Godin, a man back in, gosh, don't even get me started, but in the 90s, Seth Godin wrote a book called Permission-Based Marketing. He observed that traditional advertising creates a contentious relationship between consumer and seller, right? You are a seller of services. Your services are to list or buy the house. For the sake of discussion, I think Pete's the only investor on the call. So I'll just keep talking from the real estate listing standpoint, okay? You lost by majority, Pete. So you're selling your services to somebody who doesn't want your services, right? We're working a very narrow and specific niche for one reason. I know what they're thinking. I know what they're thinking about, which means I have the advantage in the conversion, right? Let me give a better example. How much can you give away for free for you to build a relationship where they trust you? Does that make more sense? Does that work better for you, Kay? What can you give them of such great value? Because if you can't get them on honesty, if you can't get them to get social proof, what can you give them of value that will create a lasting relationship? I'll give you a perfect example. American Tire Center, right? American Tire Center. I believe I've got this right. I was just there today. I got a screw in my back tire when I got home from Vegas this weekend, right? No, they're not going to believe $15,000 unless you hand them a check. It has to be something of value that's tangible. So for those of you who don't know this, American Tire and Auto Center does free tire repair. Like they took the screw out of my tire, they patched it up, they inflated all my tires, and then they cleaned and armor-alled all my tires. This is the most unbelievable freebie I've ever seen, right? This is a $20 to $100 fix at most tire places, right? We've all paid for this at least once in our lifetime. This company is doing it for free. When I drove up, they walked out, shook my hands, checked my tread, took my keys. It was already in getting fixed before I started the paperwork. Okay? For free. You know why? Because it's free. Okay, there's no haggling over price here. There's no, I don't want to use your service. It's free. They're giving me value. So I, being the marketing guy that I am, I said, okay, I get it. So on a non-busy day, it takes 15 to 20 minutes. You guys are doing it up to code. Yeah, we're actually using really good tire seals. We use higher grade than most people use. And like, he's going through the whole thing. He's explaining the value to me, right? Take this to heart when you're talking to somebody. You're selling them, okay? But you're not, the reason you're having difficulty, you're not creating value to them. If you're not getting a callback or you're not getting response after the first time you meet with them, my answer would be you didn't create enough value. They didn't see the value in you telling them that there was a sale date, right? They didn't see any value in your loan mod book. They didn't take action. They didn't call the bank. They just weren't. You didn't create enough social proof. I could see it because I was there the day before and the place was wall to wall when they opened. So I came back the following today, went up there at 8 o'clock, got my tire done, and it was 20 minutes, if that. I then asked for a favor to have them check my brake pads because I drive a lot. For those of you who don't know, my 1-year-old car has 60,000 miles, and I'm kind of partial about that stuff, right? So I had him check sure, why don't you come out? I'm in flip-flops, non-OSHA all the way. He walks me around and shows me the brake pads, and he goes, those look great. And so he created value in me. So I asked the question, how does this do on conversion? How does this go for, people using you for servicing or for tires? He goes, through the roof. We have lifetime customers. Lifetime customers. Why don't we have lifetime customers? I want you guys to think about that during the holiday break. Why don't we have lifetime customers? And I don't believe that it's because we follow up. I just believe it's because we don't create enough value. Every time you contact him, I saw this the other day on an email. Somebody sent me a happy Thanksgiving, I'm a realtor thing. I actually kept it because it irritated me so much. It created no value. There was no value to it. There was literally no value to this message. No value. Okay? Here. This is what we do in real estate, right? We do this. We send out Happy Thanksgiving and a quote, peace, love, and harmony. Where's the value in this? Where's the value in what she did? Would she have become more memorable to me if she sent me a coupon or told me about some charity drive or something that created value in the person other than, hey, I hired a service to tell you it was Thanksgiving? Because that's the way it comes off to me. I realize that I'm a cynic, okay? But here's the thing. Would we not all agree, right? We've all been on this appointment. Would we not agree that the person at that front door when they talk to you is a cynic, right? Is the person at the front door a legitimate cynic? Take that in for a second. Now, Pete, you recently had a situation. You clearly had a cynic at the front door, and your good nature got them to dump the person they were working with and ultimately work with you in the attempts of trying to get their loan mod, correct? And I would venture to say, based on what I saw through the Facebook group, it was because you were genuine and you were creating value with your help. So the question is, how do you create value?